Hello, everyone. For OneWrestling.com, this is Bill Apter. Welcome to Face to Face, the Apter Chat. And once again, it is time for the Poffo Proclamation. And who else to join us but the genius, Lanny Poffo. Welcome back.
Oh, I'm glad to be back, Bill. Ask me any questions you need.
Well, we asked the fans to send in some questions, and we got a lot of comments, of course, on the subject that we dealt with last time about Randy Savage in the Hall of Fame. So thank you for addressing that. So let's get right into the email bag here. Uh, this first gentleman, and I assume he's a gentleman, his YouTube screen name is Dead Skin Mask 213. What do you figure that he looks like?
I think he needs to exfoliate.
Yeah, yeah, okay. All right. Well, his question, he says, Damien Sandow, in his opinion rather, does a great impression of Lanny Poffo, the genius. He does cartwheels and everything that the genius did, pretty much. What's your opinion of Damien Sandow allegedly imitating you?
I don't think it's that big an imitation. I think he's doing his own thing. I think he's got an excellent interview. He's got his own ring persona. I think he's got the it factor, and I wish him all the luck in the world. Don't forget, when I called myself the genius, Bobby Heenan was already the brain,
Right.
and so I don't see how, the reason that when I wrestled Hulk Hogan, I couldn't point to my arms because I didn't have 24-inch pythons.
Right, right,
Maybe
right,
24 inches long, and they were garden hose variety.
right, right.
But I had to point to something,
Yeah.
and I pointed to my head. And
Okay.
Bobby Heenan didn't get mad at me because he was the brain and I was the genius. So
Right.
why should I get mad at him? It's his turn. I hope you make all the money you can, Damien. I think you're fantastic. And if you got anything from me, I consider it a fantastic compliment. And don't forget, I stole my gimmick from almost 50 people. You know, Professor Boris Maximilianovich Malenko, he wore the
Yes.
cap and gown many years before I tried it. And there's a lot of people that I stole from. Ricky Starr, my little effeminate walk, that was his.
Ricky
So
Starr, the ballet dancing wrestler.
that's
He
right.
was one of my favorites when I was a kid growing up.
The only difference was he was a legitimate ballet dancer, and I
Yes.
was not. Okay, I I was just acting.
Okay. But all right. So that addresses the Damien Sandow issue. Uh, a man named Scott from Indiana. Scott, thanks for writing. He says, will Lanny Poffo ever write a book about his brother, the Macho Man Randy Savage? Great question.
Well, thank you, Bill. That's a great question. You know, I've turned down a lot of offers and a lot of money, but I refuse. Let's put it this way. My mother is going to be 87 years old
Yeah. Wow.
in January the 28th, and I refuse to do anything that might hurt her.
Okay.
Okay? Because if I ever did write a book, I would feel that I had to tell the truth about
No
everything.
holds barred.
That's right, even the warts.
Yeah.
So I would rather not do a book until nobody's left to hurt anymore.
Okay.
Okay?
Interesting. Very interesting. Some people don't care. They'll write a book and they don't care who they hurt. But that's very
Let me tell you
interesting.
what, my mother deserves much better than that. Okay?
Yeah. 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 Bless her. How old in January?
She'll be 87, and she was very large part of the lives of the Macho Man and I. And she was married for 61 years, which I'll tell you what, I'm not going to break that record. I'm a born again bachelor.
I remember you saying that. What do you feel if you asked your mother for to reach that ripe old age? What was the secret of staying alive that long?
I think it was kvetching.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she was Jewish, just like you, and
Yeah.
that's the thanks I get for all I've done for you.
Yeah, well, bless her, and we're glad she's there, and that's January 2014. We'll come back here and wish her a happy
She was
birthday.
she was a mitzvah in my life.
All right, all right. We have uh, Mr. Hollywood 52485, another handle here. Lanny, what are your thoughts on CM Punk doing your brother's elbow drop?
Well, you see, I think CM Punk is a fantastic performer.
Yeah, sure is.
I also believe that in an age where everybody's reading the teleprompter, he took his personality and went far with it. I'm very disappointed that his friend Colt Cabana isn't right with him because he's also worth buying a ticket for.
He's
But
awesome.
CM Punk is one of the greatest performers ever. So what do I think of anybody that can get on the top rope and drop an elbow? The reason I never imitated my brother is I tried it one time and I got a sprained right side of my body, and I said, you can keep that move.
Wow. Okay. All right. Now, right on the tails of that, we're going to address this. We have two questions. It's the same question. Two people had written this in. Crosset 2 said, Lanny, what do you think of Jay Lethal, the Black Machismo imitating Randy Savage? And several fans, James Kerrigan asked that too. Jay Lethal did an amazing impression of Randy, absolutely amazing. So when you first saw this, what did it, how did you feel about it?
Well, Damien Sandow's imitation of me is not really an imitation of me. It's just a vague
Right. We
imitation of.
understand that.
Like I wrestled Jay Lethal in New Jersey about 4 or 5 years ago, and he was the nicest person. And I told him that Randy told me to tell him, thank you for keeping his memory alive. And we got in the middle of the ring, and he did a couple of maneuvers, and I broke a cardinal sin in wrestling. I laughed in the ring because he was so spot on. And I said, this was just hilarious for me to wrestle him. And you know something? He's a great performer when he's not imitating the Macho Man too. So he's a great performer on his own. And he's a very nice person. And how did Randy feel about it? Randy went on a three-way conference call between Ed Schumann, Jay Lethal, and himself.
Yeah.
And he gave him permission. He anointed him. Yes, go for it. And save your money, do your best, and thank you. It's a compliment to me that Randy told him. It was a compliment that he would do that. And Jay Lethal says, was that really him on the phone? And I said, yes, he just told me to tell you that you're doing a great job.
That's great. That's great. And our friend Ed Schumann, one of the late great Ed Schumann, one of my favorite people who's no longer with us, was part of that call. So I want to, before we go, I want to turn something around a little bit here. First of all, tell everybody where they can get in touch with you and tell them about your book. I love to plug that every time we're here.
Well, there's two books, and they're both international bestsellers on Amazon.com.
Yeah.
And now I've been turned down by, Random House. I've been turned down by the WWE, getting published. It's hard to get published.
Yeah.
So, and now I'm an international bestseller. So I just hope I don't sound childish when I say, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm an international bestseller. And
You showed
didn't,
them. But anyway, that's they can go to Amazon.com and find your book.
Well, go on geniuslannypoffo.com, and it's an international bestseller. So if you happen to live in the United Kingdom, then you go on, of course, Amazon.com UK. But if you're in the United States, all the links to the Amazon.com for the Kindle edition are on geniuslannypoffo.com. Jeff Doherty's my webmaster, and he's got WrestleHost.com if anybody wants a website and don't want to pay a whole lot of money.
That's the place to go. Now, what I'd like to do is turn this around a little bit. The fans sent you several questions. How about you come up with a question that you're requesting that the fans answer? Something to do with whatever you like about the world of professional wrestling, of sports entertainment, and maybe they can answer it right under us here on YouTube on OneWrestling.com. Do you have a question you'd like to pose for the fans to answer?
No, I just want to say thank you for all the tickets that you bought and all the merchandise you bought. And thanks for your passion for wrestling, because let's face it, if it wasn't for that, it's supply and demand.
So wait a minute, there's the question. Your passion for wrestling, fans, what started it? What brought up? Give us a couple of paragraphs, and then we'll read some of them. Lanny and I will read some of them here on our next segment here. All right?
Very good.
Lanny
Yes.
Poffo, I want to thank the genius for taking the past 10 minutes or so for spending time with us here. And for the genius Lanny Poffo, this is Bill Apter. We'll see you at the match.